but that's wonderful. And now Hope probably finishes him off with his limit break. This is going to be the best showing for him. That did 30,000 damage. Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to talk about the most underappreciated unit of the Final Fantasy 13 collaboration. We are going to talk about Hope, who maybe if he's not so underappreciated, he's definitely the most underused unit of the collaboration, and we're going to try to discover today if he's really any good. He got a ton of buffs in this last round of upgrades. His weapon that you see on the screen got a huge series of buffs, like it now has magic attack pin, AoE resist, and hate down after he drops below 80% HP. It's got 206 magic on it. It's a stacked weapon now and very worth using. It's only Hope can use it, so if you want to use this, you got to use Hope. So okay, you see where this is going. And he got a big upgrade himself, right? His limit break got an upgrade, so we can go look at that. And we're going to spend a lot of time looking at this man's kit when we're talking about what he's trying to do, but his limit break got a huge buff. It's now a very long range AoE attack that decreases chain resist, gives him a magic buff, does 200% guaranteed hit damage, reduces his damage taken by 50%. He gets a 50% generic shield now, and Hope's about surviving. He's also about enabling your team. Like, I think his main job is enabling your team, but he's meant to survive. This guy's meant to be hard to kill, and you'll see that as we talk about it. And in that same vein, he also does a 20% debuff in damage to physical and magic damage to anybody he hits with this attack. This is an insane move, and so much about this guy on paper is insane. I've heard that his AI is a little wonky, so we're going to figure that out. My Hope hit 140 about 25 minutes ago, so I'm going to be building my first ever Hope team, throwing him into arena. I'm going to build the best team I can with my account, and we're going to see what his AI is like. I'm going to kind of give my final feelings on him in a minute, but he got another big upgrade as well. I'm going to jump over here to the weapon glove based job vision cards. He got added to this. Before this last upgrade for him, he was boomerang, and if you notice on the right here, there's no boomerang job group. It doesn't exist. So him getting added to glove does give him access to all of these VCs. It also puts him in a group with these units. I would say all of these units, but that seems like an unfair thing to say. Glove gets the short end of the stick, I think, when it comes to units. Addison Rae is definitely a great unit. Kefka's pretty good. I like these next three all right. Zoma is underappreciated, but for a reason. Marymore, Salir, Garvel, these are older units. I don't know, this is not a stacked roster for the glove-based cards. And the card selection itself falls short in two ways for me. One, I don't love the light element like combo options on here. So like, for example, say you wanted to run this card for agility. Say you wanted to run, a fearsome foe appears because it has that agility on it and it gives you magic attack, which Hope's gonna like, and slash resist is good, and you're gonna build a mono light team. Oh, never mind. You got Addison Rae and Hope, and okay, maybe you played when Addison Rae was free, and so you have her and you use her all the time, and you throw her with Hope and Summer Kilfay, I guess, who doesn't care about magic attack, or Fina, you can see how light is very poorly represented on this card, and that's kind of a theme with a lot of these cards. If we look at the other agility card, hey, this one actually is the one where I think light is well represented. If you're willing to branch into new Lucio or Bart's, maybe Wingstern. So if you want to mix in some physical damage to your team, and you're looking for an agility card, and you played during the last Halloween event, and you pulled and built Lord of the Hallowed Eve, which is a lot of ands, you could use this card. And I think it's actually one of the best options if you're going to use one of these two units, or like Wingstern with Addison Rae and Hope. Okay, so there's one good option, but then it's kind of gone. Like, where's your other AoE resist card? Oh, here it is. And once again, yeah, very poorly represented in the light element. And then you have your, well, I think we've looked at them all at this point. Now, I do like this card a lot. I like Addison Rae's card. This is a card that gives you magic reaction block rate and magic resist. One thing Hope is going to want to do is be anti-magic. He's going to be, I think, extra effective in a team comp that looks to fight mages. So if you have a dance that's out of this world and you're planning on using like a little Addison Rae, maybe a little Sylvie Hope, maybe mix an Elena in there, I think working this card in could be worth it. It gives you that magic resist, magic up, and reaction block rate up. But this card runs into some problems as well, especially if you're trying to splash, Hope into a mono light team, but kind of overlap your vision cards. Because speaking of vision cards, let's look at the light element vision cards if that's the way you're going to go with him. But you got to start with Bahamut. Like, we're talking about light element. Here's the king of light element vision cards. It gives agility and single target resist in one swing, basically achieving what those job-based vision cards can do. The issue is your best splash into the job cards was a magic up card. So Bahamut replaces that because it gives magic up, and now it's just, again, it's kind of awkward. Like the glove vision cards mixing into a light element team, if you're trying to take advantage of both, just doesn't fit very well. So I'm going to be building a mono light team myself. I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of Bahamut. Then if you're going to use Bahamut, you got to get your AoE resist in, and unless you're going to splash into the job-based cards, you're going to look for probably the Great Stag. That's your 20 AoE resist. The missile attack feels wasted, the dexterity feels wasted, but it is at least a magic scaling card that you can throw on a magic scaling unit in your group. And who knows, maybe you're splashing Jaden in there, in which case these other stats are not wasted and Jaden likes them. After that, it gets kind of weird. And again, vision card building on this team comp is gonna kind of feel awkward. Sure, you get your 3 big stats out of only 2 cards, but then what? Then what are you gonna bring? You're gonna bring Valifor? I think this is probably your best option. It gives you magic attack resist pin, magic attack, and dart killer, but not everybody has Valifor. I think this is clearly the best third option because you're going to want all of those stats, especially if you're hunting magic teams who love to run Roth, who love to run Vivi. This dart killer is going to be very useful there. Okay, say you don't have that. Hope's card doesn't work in the main slot because it's a magic card. It certainly doesn't work if you're running Bahamut, so it is at best relegated to a sub slot card. Oath of a New Dawn is yuck, except the light resist to help you fight young Helena in those mage teams. Scions of Twilight is like a Sylvie special with the slash attack pin, HP magic resist. You do love that magic resist, and if you are running Sylvie, that slash attack pin is nice. So this card could see some play, even in a sub slot possibly. Smite the Dark feels yucky. And then Scions of House Bulov, if you have this card, you're probably an OG player. I do have it. A slash attack doesn't feel the best, but I might run this in a sub slot for agility, and then, let my Sylvie take advantage of this. It just also doesn't scale purely off of magic. At least it has some magic scaling to it, but I hope you can see right there how the vision card selection here is not perfect. Hope is certainly not set up for ultimate success with his vision cards. Now, let's go look at our guy. Mine's 140. I've thrown some trust stones on him. Here's what his stat page looks like. Note a couple things. One, the AoE resist 20. You love to see that. Walking into the fight with 20 AoE resist is great. He's got 26 spirit right off the bat in this build. I've set him up with Defying Fate and Mage's Protection, both of which give some spirit, and I don't think putting spirit on him is necessarily a bad idea. However, I worry if I try to run Mage's Protection, I might want something like Speed Cast or Concealed Rage, which give casting time down. This is a guy for a boomerang thrower. I guess when you throw a boomerang, you gotta wait a while for the boomerang to come back, because he does suffer from some casting time problems, it looks like. No matter what sub job you're playing him on, I don't know which one I'm going to play him on yet. We'll look at that here in a minute, but that's not ideal. And so, okay, I'm going to try to run him with high spirit, high magic resist. And if we look before any vision cards or buffs or anything, he has 30% magic resist with this setup, which again is pretty good. So we're going to try build an anti-magic team. To accomplish that, let's talk about some other people to run him with and his own kit. So here's what I was just showing you. We're getting spirit pin, and we are getting spirit and magic resist with this build. So very anti-magic focused. Alternatively, you could go more damage with Red Mage Lore, get that magic damage up 20%. Here's activation time down 400 with Concealed Rage, but it's only active if your HP is above 80%. I don't love that conditional very much. Then you do have a 250 just always activation time down, which you might end up needing from Time Mage. Nothing on here blows me away. Defying Fate is a must run for the spirit pin, I think, and then you're just picking and choosing after that. Maybe Red Mage Lore is what I ultimately go to. I'm running Counter Pacify, which is a counter attack right now. I could go Magic Reflex for an anti-magic build, or I could go slow counter, but I don't love slow counter, so it's either going to be Magic Reflex or Counter Pacify for me in my build. Okay, what's his kit do? Well, he does damage, right? He's got damage built in. I'm not going to go over everything in his kit. This isn't like a unit preview thing, but let's look at his buffs. Let's talk about what kind of people he's going to want to play with and what I think his main role is. I believe that he is an enabler for your team. He does that in a couple of ways. One, physical synergy. Two, it's actually should be called physical synergy 2, physical and magical synergy, because it gives your allies in an AoE a 20% physical and magic damage buff. Now we're talking. This is some bread and butter stuff right here. You throw like young Mama Helena in a group with this guy, and he walks up to Mama Helena and he's like, hey Mama, you want 20% more damage? I got that for you. Here you go. Hey, Addison Rae, you want 20% more damage? I got that for you. Here you go. Hey, Lucio or Bartz or whoever, you want 20%? You see what I'm saying? Giving your teammates 20% more damage is a big deal. Now, it's not a diamond-shaped AoE or anything. It does have range on it, which is nice, but I think you want him hitting everybody in your team with this. After that, he has Holy Guardian, which gives himself 20 more AoE resist and increases light attack by 40 for your allies. I like this as well. It is a diamond-shaped AoE move, so we'll have to see what his AI kind of prioritizes here, but getting both of those buffs off would be nice. He also has another buff. This one gives 30% slash and 30% magic resist. So if you're going that anti-magic build, 30% more magic resist is nice. At least force your enemy to be running all those penetrations, or at least maximizing their penetrations to beat you. It also drops aggro for him, which is interesting. When he's out here dealing damage, he's going to have the ability to drop AoE resist on his opponents, and he can inflict some stun. This is colorless damage stun, so it does light attack doesn't help it, which is kind of awkward. His sub job, yeah, not a lot going on there. Red Mage, he lacks dispelling or the resistance break, which I really like resistance break. He does have jamming thrust, but I don't know, it does give him a little more spirit, I guess. Can turn off ability activation. Don't sleep on that. I suppose if you're fighting a mage team that's not taking advantage of like casting time down, maybe ability activation canceling would be nice. Time Mage, he has haste and quicken. So, I mean, you could do Time Mage shenanigans with him, but I think the rest of his buffs are too good to try that. Then we've already talked about his limit break. So, I'm really going to hope to take advantage of this buff right here for sure. Hopefully this buff as well, fully enabling my teammates to do maximum damage. Hope his damage is legit enough coming over the top that he can do all that for me. Who should you run him with? Well, here's your light element roster. I really like Helena, Addison Rae, Sylvie, Bartz, Lucio, maybe a little Wings turn action. Sweetheart Miranda, also not a bad unit. You could drop down a little bit, go Jaden, maybe Starlight Helena's still your girl. Light element starts falling off a little bit after that. Ma Cherie is a very new player friendly option because you can buy a level 99 Ma Cherie for like paid viz in the royal rank pack for like cheap. So she's an option some people might take advantage of that wouldn't be bad here. So I'm going to be using Helena the Black Rose, obviously. I think if you have Helena the Black Rose and you're playing a light team and you're not using her, you're trolling on purpose. So we all know she's insane, right? How do her buffs synergize with him? Is there any overlap there? Well, I think hers pretty cool. She can actually reduce damage taken for her allies. So while Hope is boosting your team's damage, Helena can come in here and reduce the damage they take. Okay, I like that. So I know Hope can give himself a generic barrier with his limit break, but she can start off the fight by buffing a barrier for him and give herself re-raise and increase dark attack for her, or dark resistance for herself. And then, that upgrades to also give, this buff is insane, right? AoE resist. Yes, it adds AoE resist right here. This buff's crazy. So look, she can do all that. We all know this isn't a young Helena video. This buff, my point is, this buff does not like counter Hope. In fact, with Hope's limit break lowering damage of the enemy and Helena being able to reduce the enemy's damage to your whole team, I think there's great synergy there, but this buff greatly synergizes with any team in the game, so I'm not saying anything new. I think this is probably the best person to run him with, right? If you can make it work, run Helena whenever you can. Okay, that one's easy. Then for me, I was kind of stuck between two, Sylvie or Addison Rae. I'm gonna probably end up going with Sylvie, and here's why. I think Sylvie also is very interesting in an anti-mage group because you can run her Blade Soul sub and she can give herself that reduced magic damage taken 7,500 200 buff. So you can have Sylvie run into your group, maybe drop a buff, maybe a defense spirit buff. Again, okay, a little more spirit for Hope right there. Stack that spirit, something like that. Or you could just have her be a little bit selfish, like maybe run Sylvie in the middle, have her put re-raise on herself, then have her give herself her shield. Okay, that's an option for her as well. I just like the anti-magic synergy with Sylvie. Sylvie's also going to provide a little bit more support for the team, and with that like limit break heal. So I like Sylvie as an option here. Addison Rae, hey, she's going to be good. Addison Rae's a strong unit. Her buffs is a physical damage reduction buff. This doesn't work great with Helena, obviously, and was kind of one of the reasons why I went away from it. Even though I am going to be really focusing on magic teams, you could still take advantage of Soul Regram though, right? Put that courage on Addison and her ally. Boom, ignore sure hit. Okay, like the ignore sure hit, Hope doesn't care about that, but I think Addison would work just fine. I'm going to be going young Helena and Sylvie myself. Okay, let's jump back into the game. Let's build a team for Hope. So here we go. We're going to do it, and then we're going to throw them into the arena. Let's get our 3 units in there, and we're going to get our agility and stuff like that locked in. We're going to, where's my light team? Yeah, F light. I regularly, yeah, look, I'm not even playing one. You can tell how I feel about the light element. Okay, I'm going to put Hope in slot 1. We'll see how well that works out. I'm going to try Sylvie in slot 2. One thing I worry about a little bit here is the map we're currently on is a bit short. It is a bit short. I think I might end up switching Helena and Hope around, so Hope prioritizes buffing her a little bit more, but we'll see how it plays out. With Espers for Hope, you're really looking for agility, magic damage, tankiness, light attack, stuff like that. I'm going to start by just throwing Bahamut on there and seeing what that puts at agility at. That puts him at 89 agility. Okay, so let's see without Bahamut what he was. Who's the fastest of these 3? Well, Hope's at 70. Sylvie comes in at 73, so Sylvie's a little faster, and then Helena with this setup is at 67. So we're going to need to make sure Helena goes faster than Sylvie. We're going to want everybody meeting at Sylvie, buffing each other, and then advancing towards the enemy. So maybe we start Helena off with, well, maybe Helena runs Bahamut, and then maybe we go for Hope. We look for something like a Valifor, something along those lines. Where are you at, Valifor? We got Carbuncle on here as well. Shinryu would be a great option. In fact, let's go Shinryu here. Where does that put them at? That puts her at 86. Tinderbolt Perfume. Yeah, this is what her setup's going to be. So let's go that there. And then maybe we go Valifor here for our girl Sylvie. Valifor's a 16. Okay, what's that put us at? This is, we'll go as fast as we can. 86 there. We're at 89 there. Oh, that's a problem. So we're going to need to speed Hope up a little more. 86. So 86, 86, 89. Okay, so it's literally the exact opposite of what we want, but we can sort that through. Wait, did I like read these agilities wrong? That's a 16 agility there, and that's a 16, so it's the same. All right, we'll sort that out with vision cards and things like that. Okay, now the VC setup. We're going to put Bahamut in here, so let's get Bahamut rocking straight away. I'm going to sort by light element. Where's my Bahamut? Where are you at? Boom, there we go. So Bahamut's going to be magic, agility, unit attack, resist. Slap that on there. Then it has agility on it, which helps me because Bahamut comes in with what, 4 agility? This helps make Hope faster than Sylvie and fixes one of my problems. Okay, next up for Helena, let's get our agility card on there, which was Great Stag, right? So, or do I want to do Valifor here? Valifor gives the unit magic AoE resist. You know what? Great Stag gives the light attack. It does it. It's actually kind of about the same. Let's do Valifor here. Let's do Great Stag here. And now that's a pretty solid like initial vision card setup. For our sub VCs, I'm going to give Sylvie the next agility card. So I'm going to drop on her Ramses card right here. Okay, there's another 8% agility buff for the group. For Hope, I could give him his own card, right? This will at least give him specifically a little magic plus 10%, gives him magic attack, AoE resist, accuracy mat. I don't hate that. The damage limit up is pretty PvE focused, but okay, we can do that. And then for Helena, let's see, what's that last VC look like? We could go, I mean, you could even drop into like dark resist, max HP. You could now you're not doing Carbuncle. Oh yeah, it gets this last vision card was always going to feel kind of weird. I think maybe what I do is give Helena this one because it has that one more agility on it, kind of pushing her a little further than Sylvie. I don't love the stats on it. It scales off of attack, which does hurt her a little bit, but puts her at 96 agility, puts Sylvie at 98. So she did need that bump and puts Hope at 98. Okay, so for Sylvie, we need to just tone Sylvie back a little bit with the gear, but we can do that with Trust Masters easily enough. For Helena, we need, let's get our buff rotation set up. So for Helena, we want Helena running in and buffing the group with this buff. Now, one thing that's an issue is you might want to have Helena in the middle because she's going to want to hit everyone with this, and she doesn't have a range to it. Like, she can't run in and target the next person over with this buff, which almost makes me think I might want to switch her and Sylvie just to take full advantage of that buff. In fact, I do think that is what I want to do. So let's put Helena in the middle. Again, showing the power of Hope, being able to cast his AoE buff forward a couple spots. He doesn't have to stand next to everybody. I think that's nice for him. Sylvie, we can make Sylvie run in if we do indeed still want Sylvie giving that buff, because she does have, where is it? Prayer of Resolute Oath, which can also be cast one over, or we could give her a Trust Master that's a buff, maybe like single target resist buff or something like that as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn this on for now just to get our buffs going in the right way. Then we'll have her cast her Banishing Barrier next, and then we will turn the rest of her stuff off. Okay, so now our agilities are looking a little better. Our slowest unit, Helena, is at 96, chilling in the middle. Hope's at 98. I believe that's what Sylvie's at as well, which is about perfect. Okay, next up, I probably do want Sylvie moving in first because her buff is the least important one for everybody to receive, but we'll fix that in a minute. Let's do gear. So we'll start with Hope. We're going to give him the Air Wing. Boom, there we go. That's his signature weapon. Then, what do we give him here? If we're going for a pure like anti-magic build, we could sort by spirit, and you could dive back in time a little bit and look for something weird like a smart coat, but I don't know, that feels kind of awkward. Galmea coat does give him magic up, but that doesn't stack very well with like trust stones, and since we already have magic on trust stones, I don't know about that. I think maybe you just stick with like your best gear. That's probably just the safe way to go. Give him a survival vest +6 if you want him to do some living for you. And then I do want to give him a little bit more speed here, so let's look for an agility TMR. He's not going to be casting the buff. Here's the fastest one I got, which I probably will throw on to Sylvie, so I'll just give him this. I'll just give him the 10 agility one, and now that puts him at 111. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Sylvie, you're next. Let's give Sylvie her sword. So we'll sort by magic here. Sylvie wants Sylvie's sword, probably. I'm going to give it to her for this run. Okay, so there you go. Then we're going to give Sylvie... This is an interesting one right here, because we're going to be fighting a lot of Dark and Light units if we do indeed run into those, magic teams. So this is not a terrible option for her, and it saves my last survival vest. So let's switch to Helena for just a second. Let's give Helena like the Wizard's Rod, and then we can give Helena... Yeah, let's give Helena the survival vest +6, and then we'll give Sylvie the luminous armlet, and just hope Sylvie can take advantage and keep people alive. Okay, Helena, we're going to keep you sort of slow. So Sylvie, we're going to sort back by agility again. Let's go like that. Sylvie, you get... Ooh, that's right. Sylvie can't use the very speediest of ones, can she? Those look like they don't have Trust Stone set. Yeah, Sylvie doesn't have a Trust Stone set. Okay, I swear I thought she did. That changes things a little bit. So we can just... Yeah, this is such a great quality of life. Let's copy the set from Helena. Let's throw it over onto Sylvie. So set Trust Stones here, paste from copied. Boom, now she does. And now she's at 98 agility. That sped her up a little bit. And we can give her the 11 agility Trust Master. That might make her too fast. Let's see. That makes her 112. No, it's perfect. That worked out great. I feel like she had Trust Stones and it like accidentally unequipped it, because there's no way that math should have worked out that way anyhow. Okay, and then Helena, we'll just give you some boots because I still want you to go as fast as you can, but I want you to be the slowest. She's barely the slowest. There we go. Let's make sure Hope's buffs are what we want them to be. So we're going to make sure to have, and this is the thing we're going to find out right away. Building block 2 I'm going to turn all of these on. I just want to see what he casts. So physical synergy, I think, is one of the most important ones. Then guiding light, building block, holy guardian. Ooh, man, which one of those do we want him to cast the most? We'll see. Let's turn his TMR buffs off. We certainly don't want him doing that. Turn that off. I actually don't want any of them casting their TMR buffs. So let's get all of those things cut off here. Okay. There we go. Now, let's run it. Let's jump into Arena and learn what Hope actually looks like in action. I think this team will probably require a little bit of tweaking somewhere along the line, and we're going to look for magic teams. If we can't find magic teams, then I don't know that our comp is really doing what we want it to do, of course. But, okay, we'll probably just, I'll tell you what, we'll fight a non-magic-ish team. This is good. There's a lot of magic damage here, at least with Soul. So we'll fight this and see how we do. Then we'll try to look for that more standard magic team next, like the very common defense wall team with Young, Helena, Roth, Vivi. That's kind of what I had in mind when I was building the fight this team, but it'll suffice. We are covered in the physical element. You have Helena providing that physical shield. We do, in theory, a lot of damage with Sylvie and Helena. Sylvie can be put into a little bit of a support mode, but the way to play Sylvie is just, if you don't want her healing too much, turn off all of her support stuff except for her limit break. Let her limit break heal you, give you that barrier, the one hit, and then let her roll for damage after that. I think that's probably the best way to play her, honestly. And with her damage, with Hope buffing everybody's damage, that's the big thing. Like, the thing I want to see. Here's how I envision the first couple turns going. You have Sylvie run to Helena, buff their defense and spirit. What I worry about there is if Sylvie then buffs Hope's defense and spirit instead of shielding herself. If that's the case, we're gonna have to go to a one-use TMR buff to move her in, but we can make that happen if we must. Then I want Hope coming in and buffing everybody's light attack and physical magic damage up. Like that. Okay, now, all right, new map today. So a different map now. That might change things a little bit. Ooh, okay, now that's interesting. She actually didn't run all the way in, and we also immediately see Hope's casting time wrecking us. So this is really rough. And it's something a lot of people might not think about when they're first looking at the unit. It's like when most buffs are instant cast, right? Especially these group buffs like this. Not old Hope's. He's going to go Holy Guardian. He hits, okay, so he prioed the light attack buff. Then he ran to Sylvie to give it to her, I think. She's hitting everybody with her defense up buff and then not moving. So an advantage of Sylvie actually here is that her AI, being a support AI, is keeping her back a little bit, allowing our second round of buffs to go off. And there's building block 2, so that's his magic resist hate down buff that he went with next. And now he's moving and looking to do damage. Okay, Rose Blast comes out from Helena. Hope's gonna probably try to wake some people up right here. We're gonna get the Oberon limit break. Let's see what kind of damage this does to Hope. He does have some damage resist from Helena. Yeah, that was fine. That's about what I expect from him. Not taking a ton of damage. Imperalaga comes out for 9.4k. So that was legit damage. Now, soul is going to be raised, but we get the limit break from Sylvie. So we're trading back and forth pretty nicely. This is a very meta fire team that we're fighting. We get the physical magic shield from Sylvie. Rose Blast from Helena comes out. She's hard carrying because that's what she does. Got Guiding Light, not a ton of damage to the tank right there, but it is a tank. The preemptive counter goes off, so you like to see that happen every once in a while. Oberon is sustaining himself. Shalze is sustaining herself. Sylvie's going to be in damage mode now, so I'll protect everyone for 4.5. Follow up from 3.9 for there. The self-heal procs. Dual Punisher comes out. Ooh, we can't quite burn down the Oberon. Let's see if he's able to punish us. He's going to kill Sylvie, which feels bad. She has re-raise. He's going to kill Helena, which feels bad. She has re-raise. So re-raise remove would have probably done us in right now. Shalze is going to heal herself. It's now, we'll go I protect everyone from Sylvie again. Hope is going to kill Oberon this time. And Helena's going to get a crack at Shalze. Try Devastation does not kill her. She's going to be stuck in healing mode for the rest of this fight because now she's going to eat all of these attacks. Imperalaga comes through. Okay, she's going to try and heal herself again, but it looks like Bahamut is going to end things right here. We'll click skip. That's probably one of the reasons the loading time took so long, is because one, it was a long fight, and two, we got to the summon. Couple things. So what did we notice right there? First, we won. We beat a legit fire team. Now, this was the first time I've played Hope, obviously. A lot of things didn't go right, but we were fairly hard to kill. To be fair, they only had one carry, and we killed him pretty much straight away. But we looked tanky enough. I just think we might need to take Hope's casting time off or something. Can we get him to run in and cast his buff before everybody starts moving around? I don't know. Can we all, another thing, can we get Sylvie to like move in with the group? That would be nice as well, so they could all get buffs. Let's try to fix Sylvie's running around first. So we're going to go to TMRs here. Reminiscent Hairpin is not a group buff. So, gosh, what do we have that's a speedy TMR? Charm Stop Berserk. Yeah, it's not going to do it for me. Oh man. We could look for Fairy Guard. Like, she could run in and do unit resist buff, but this doesn't pull her all the way into the group. Man, we need to find a TMR that can make her run all the way in to young Helena. Okay, what I ended up doing is just moving her to the middle and giving her a group agility buff if I want to use it. Mostly I gave her that TMR because it lowered her to 107 agility, which is a couple less than Helena. So I'm going to have Helena run in, start buffing with her group buff, and then have Hope run in, start buffing everybody, and hope it works out that way. I'm a little concerned with Hope's casting time still, and he didn't cast both of the buffs I wanted. I did not want him to prioritize. I want him to do physical synergy 2, and I want him to do not this one. I did not want building block 2 being cast second, so I'm going to turn that off. So he'll go physical synergy 2, guiding or fissure. Nope. Holy Guardian. Those two. I want the light attack buff, and I want the damage amplifying buff. So let's see if we can get both of those to go off without having to turn off, or without having to give him the you know, the casting time. Okay, it looks like we might have to fight another fire team right here. We'll go Sol, Hyo, King Mont. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. We're not finding the mage team that we want, but we're going to get to see if if we need to go casting time adjustments for this squad. And I definitely think, even right away, we are learning a little bit about Hope. More on that once the fight starts. Okay, here we go. Now, the issue with Hope, and I thought, okay, I'm going to have to slow Helena down a little bit because that's not great. We're going to really turtle it up right here because Hope did not run in with Helena not making it all the way in. Hope stopped early, and it looks like he's casting, no, he got everybody, so he prioritized the light attack up buff on the whole group. That might not be terrible. Then he's going to move in physical synergy. That's fine. That's actually great. He managed to get everybody with all of his buffs, and now Helena charged in, fully ready to rock and roll. Okay, Helena, what do you got? You got Hope's buffs, you got your own buffs. We're definitely a little more anti-magic than physical, but you took that damage without a problem. Maining slash, okay, she procs her CT up. Here comes Sage's Wisdom from Sol, he's moving in. We get the limit break out early from Sylvie. That's not great, but Sylvie is hanging back. She's at least not eating damage with everybody else. Get that shield online. Our movement is definitely awkward. Hyo dying right here helps a bunch. Hope's moving in. He's out of range to do anything. Iron Blow's not going to do much. Sylvie's up next. Bunny protection. Re-raised shell on herself. Deflagrating heat. Oh no, we got poison. Soul harvest. I mean, look. This has not been much of a Hope showcase right here. Sure, we were able to get his buff rotation looking good, but I did not like the fact that he was so far behind Helena. In fact, if Helena's going to be faster than him, I might give Sylvie her speed back, move Hope to the middle, and just have him, kind of hang out there and focus. In fact, let's see what Hope's movement looks like if we shift it around like this. If we move Sylvie to the far left, give her some more speed back. Let's boost her all the way back up to Speed Demon Sylvie. That puts her at 114, which is going to be north of Hope's 111. And then with Helena being faster, somehow she went first at 10. No, she went second at 109. Let's slow Hope down. Hope, let's drop you to, I'm just going to give you a team more with less. Let's drop you to 108 if we can. So we need to do a 7 agility Trust Master. We'll give you some Brilliant Berry pumps. There we go. So now you're a little bit slower, but you should have an opportunity in theory of buffing everyone. Let's find out. Let's see how that works. So we'll put Hope in the middle and see how he performs there. It looks like this time we do get to fight a magic team. However, with Sylvie, I want to make another quick adjustment to Sylvie. She's not getting her barrier online. She's getting re-raise and shell, which is really nice. So she's doing these buffs. She's doing Prayer of Resolute Oaths. We're having her do that just to bring her in, really. But then she's doing Bunny Protection. It's not bad. It's not bad for this group. Re-raise is nice, but I do want her to try to prioritize that shield instead. So let's see that. Let's fight Zagmar here. We got the Vivi Helena team that we wanted to fight. And this will definitely be the best test of our comp so far. We're fighting against 3 units that scale off of magic. We're fighting against kind of what we built for specifically. And hopefully, old Hope gets his buffs off nicely. Especially what I'm hoping for here is his AI will allow him to just stand. Like, if both girls run to him and he's able to stand there and buff them, he will literally just stand there and buff them, and that his casting time kind of works out in the least awkward way possible. But we'll see. So far, it feels awkward. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can overcome the awkwardness. And gosh, once again, Sylvie is just refusing to group up and buff. Like, she loves to stand at a distance and do her buffing. There's the buff from Helena. Okay, now Hope. Oh God, Hope, what are you doing, man? That sucks. Okay, so that is definitely a knock on his AI. He could have stood still and hit everybody with that buff. Instead, he moves out of the buff, only hits 2, and creates a really awkward situation for the group, kind of forcing Sylvie to do another round of awkward buffing. Helena has now, she's done her big buff that she needs to do, and she's going to already look to move in and do damage. She's only received 1 of Hope's damage buffs, and I want to say right here, had she received both of Hope's damage buff, she one-shots Vivi right there, so he's re-raised, and then Hope's limit break, which we are getting to see for the first time, kills him. Instead, it does decent damage to Vivi. It did literally nothing to Dario, but he's re-raised instead of being dead. And we tanked that like a charm. So that's okay. So definitely his casting time and his awkward AI is hurting us a bit. Now there's Slate Wiper. We still have not cut through Dario's shield. Vivi's channeling a spell. He won't get it off. Helena is hard carrying, as she will. And Hope exists here mostly to enable your team, right? So he is enabling Helena. We just need to get his AI tweaked so he's enabling her the best possible way. He does about 3,000 damage to the enemy Helena. Preemptive counters, but his preemptive counter not hitting hard enough to kill anybody, and because of that, he goes night-night. But luckily for Night Hope over here, we have Sylvie on the team who will heal everyone with her LB. We're all back to full health. That's nice. Hope's napping. Dario's waking people up, which thank you for that, Dario. Then he's healing a little bit. That's what a king's duty really is. Rose Blast. Other Helena's still alive. Sylvie's going to take care of that. She'll re-raise. She'll come back to life. And Hope could kill her again. Man, kind of the theme of this so far is Hope could have been helping kill people, but he's either been awkwardly CT buff movementing or been asleep. Please wake up, Hope. Come on, Dario. What are you doing? Hope has literally... Oh, man, Hope, you had a chance to, like, hard carry this, and you slept it off. Okay, Imperilga comes out, and I'll tell you what. I think what cost us this fight, so it looks like we're going to lose as Hope goes to sleep again. It looks like why we're going to lose is those first initial turns. Running Hope in the middle absolutely did not work the way I wanted it to. We're going to have to try one more fight, I think. I want to test him at least one more time and see... This, I see what people were talking about who've tested this guy out before. Man, his AI is awkward. Notice how... Okay, so I'm going to throw Sylvie back in the middle. And I'm going to make everybody faster than her. So watch this. I want to show this off again. So I want to show you the difference between Sylvie and Hope's AI. So let's put Sylvie and Hope back into different spots. I need to make Hope faster than her. So she's at 114. We're at 109 here. Let's slow her down significantly, right? So just drop her to something like 109 is not enough of a drop. Let's drop down to... Really right here, I just want to show something of 108. That seems fine. So drop her to 108. We're at 109 here. And then I need to get Hope back north of 109. So let's take his pumps off and give him back his spiky shoes. So there we go. Now, I want to show you the difference between his AI and Sylvie's AI. Even with group buffs on, I think you'll see something here that's important. That's both important and unfortunate for Hope. So let's see if we can find another magic team to fight. No, that's just a mono light team. Shadowlight is probably a magic team. There we go. Same team, basically. Vivi, Helena, and Dario. And I really think, man, had Hope got both his buffs on Helena, she's killing Vivi with one attack. Now, he'll re-race and come back, but then when we kill him the second time, he stays dead. Instead, she almost kills him, we like pop him, and then he re-raises, and we have to deal with him again in a minute, and I think that set us behind the curve. I just think we look like a lot better with those damage buffs online. And sleep. What the heck, dude? Like, stop getting put to sleep. Maybe what I should really be doing is giving some kind of TMR for status effect resist on Sylvie instead of going with a defense and spirit buff. And if I was trying to be like hyper competitive with this team, those are the kind of adjustments you make from there. But this is a video more about just learning Hope and seeing if he has the potential to be good. So far, well, look, I'll tell you this. I'm going to move him out of the useless tier. Like, when I redo my tier list video, I'm going to bump him out of the Eileen tier. He's significantly better than her. I think we can all see that, especially with this last set of buffs. But does he even make it to the 80 cost tier? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so watch this. He moves in and starts casting. Helena moves in and casts. Then watch what Sylvie does. Watch what Sylvie does. She stands there and casts her buff and then doesn't move. That is what a support character does. If Hope is meant to be a support character, he needs the fact that he has DPS AI, which makes you move, is not great. Sylvie's chilling. She's like, look, if we want to turtle up, I will stand here and turtle, which allows Hope to hit everybody with her buff. And Sylvie's like, yep, I'm still just sitting here chilling, healing, buffing, and he gets everybody. So that movement right there, you got to play around that with Hope. You're going to have to enable him to like get both of his important buffs off, and you're going to have to put him in a position where he moves to do it, because the man has happy feet and he's going to move around. Okay, Sylvie's protecting everybody. Dario's magic reflexing us. That puts us a little behind the 8 ball. Hope's channeling another buff here. I wonder what it is. I don't think he's in range to do damage. I think he would have used his LB. No, he is. He's in range for a Paralaga. Oh my god. Okay, that's the most damage we've seen him do so far. And it was to a tank, which is really nice to see. We cut through the Dario. Helena's going to dual punish her, and look at that. She popped Vivi this time. It's a different Vivi, so maybe he was like a little less tanky, but that's wonderful. And now Hope probably finishes him off with his limit break. This is going to be the best showing for him. That did 30,000 damage. Holy cow. Not really 30, it's like more like 25, but it did over 20k. That was amazing. Okay, I like Sylvie here for this limit break. Top us off, make us a little tankier. Sleep is still kicking us in the balls. All right, kicking, I mean, you know, whatever. It's hurting us. Guiding light, nice damage right there from the boomerang thrower. She'll re-raise. Sylvie probably finishes this off right here. So cheerful paladin strike, there it is. Helena goes down. Clean win. Clean win. So when we were able to fight the thing we wanted to fight, when we were able to get Hope's buffs going in a row, it looked okay. So there you go. That's Hope, guys. I think my final verdict is this. I'm going to bump him out of the useless tier. Does he hit 80 cost? Probably. I think probably. I think if you can learn him, he could do what you just saw. Potential for a lot of damage. He has really good enabling buffs, and he can play with some units like young Helena, who when enabled can pop off. And notice how his damage is really high. He's also receiving those enabling buffs for himself, and his limit break hit like a truck onto that Vivi. I think he's decent into magic teams. I think he's generically harder to kill than most people think he is. So maybe into that like 80 cost tier, right? Not 90. Like somebody like, I think Fang's probably in the 90 cost tier. He's not on her level, I don't believe, but I think he's usable now. So if you're a Hope fan and you want to use him, go for it. He's free. They handed him out. So if you're thinking about building him and you have the ability to, like, based on everything you've seen in this video, throw a team comp together with him, go for it. Don't be worried that you're being held back in the meta if you don't, though. So, okay, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. If you like these longer form videos where I kind of do these deeper dives onto characters, especially newer characters that I'm just getting my hands on, let me know. They take a while to film and edit, so it's a little more work, but if you guys are liking them, and we're getting pretty decent views on the last few, I'll keep putting them out there. It's a fun video for me to make. Just, again, it takes a little time. Okay, thank y'all. Have a great day. Remember to use my Amazon link for everything that you buy on Amazon. Or else.